Step number 3 is the reference list. What we equip our salesmen with in every home they go into is a couple of previous customers that the customer can call. Humans are visual, so we put pictures here, and we try to entice them to call these people and ask them how the previous installation went. This is actually one of the most important parts of the process, and if you do this next part that I'm going to explain correctly, this can be what we call a grand slam. So when you end your qualitative questioning process with the customer, and you kind of have that point where it's time to measure, you say to the customer, Mr. Jones, I think I've basically got everything I need here to give you a price. What I'm gonna do is take some measurements and take a quick inspection video. While I'm doing that, could you do me a favor? You ask them if they can do a favor for you because you wanna get a commitment. A small yes is gonna lead to a bigger yes. They're gonna say, sure, Greg, Sally, Jack, whoever your name is, what do you need me to do? Well, Mr. Jones, I should say. What I've got here is a list of references. These are previous customers who've done work with Premier Flooring. You've got names, numbers, and a picture of the project. What I want you to do is to give them a call and ask them anything you want. I want you to hear exactly from the horse's mouth. And I've got some questions here if you get stuck. The first question is, did Premier Flooring do everything they said we would do? Was the work great? And would you recommend Premier Flooring? This puts a little less pressure on them so they actually have some things to say, because this could be nerve-wracking for a customer. Now, you're gonna then say to them this next line. My boss feels so strongly about the references and calling them that he has a reference program. If you attempt, Mr. Jones, to call just 2 of the customers, my boss is willing to give you a $100 discount off the final retail price. And at this moment, I want you guys to actually pull out your wallet. We're gonna create for you a fake $100 bill. You're not gonna give them a real one. And you're gonna give this coupon to them. And the reason why we want it to look like money is because when I just pulled out this money, you probably got a little bit surprised, and it's because there's dopamine going through your brain. Harvard also did a study on that. When people see money, they get excited, they have the dopamine go through, and it further increases your chances that they're actually gonna call the reference list. The more you can get the customer to call the list, the better chances you're gonna have at closing. And you'll say, my boss is willing to give you a $100 discount. And you do your absolute best to have them call that reference list. If you do all these steps exactly how I showed you, you should be able to get about 50% of the customers to actually call the reference list. Now, one little back pocket move that I've used, and again, as you practice it more, you can use this, don't use it immediately, is what I'll do is if they don't call the reference list and I went and I've then gone and measured and done an inspection video, I'll come back, I'll ask them how the reference list went. If they didn't call you, I'll say, listen, Mr. Jones, I feel so strongly, I want you to get this discount, then I'm gonna give the reference list a call right now. And I'll call them and put it on speaker right in front of them, and the customers love it. Now, sometimes that can be a little too much pressure for someone, so you gotta review this as a case-by-case basis, but again, every little bit counts, and the reference list is one of the most important things, so make sure you get this step right.